Coming up on Cronkite Sports Live, a week from play filled with ups and downs. We'll talk about the one constant among Sun Devil baseball, that magic letter K.
And ASU softball headed to Salt Lake City to take on the Utes. Kenzie Brown looking to continue her stellar season as ASU looks to continue its winning ways.
And it's another week of spring ball on the practice pitch. Which new faces are ready to step up and lead Arizona State football to victory this August? A scorching hot CSL begins right now. Spring has sprung here in Studio 6, and welcome to a Masters Week edition of Cronkite Sports Live alongside Justin Lastratosa. I'm Aiden Blank.
Yeah, and we got the Masters going on in Augusta. ASU men's golf out at Papago Golf Course for the Thunderbird Collegiate. The bats are currently swinging over in Cincinnati as ASU baseball looks to turn the tide after their loss in the Territorial Cup, and ASU softball looking to continue its winning ways in Utah. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, baseball currently underway. Good 4-run first inning. They tacked on another. They lead 5-2 early in that game, early in the series, but a good start for them. Let's take you back. A big homestand concluding this week. Earlier with Cal State Northridge out on Monday. The weather in Cincinnati not as nice as it was out at Phoenix Muni on Monday. What a beautiful sight that was. Good old, Tuesday afternoon baseball. Sun Devils and CSU Northridge. Matt King had himself a day in this game. 2-run homer here. They scored 4 runs in this inning. King 5 for 5 in his last 5 plate appearances and back-to-back games with home runs. Rare Nucatrada's error coming up here. Brandon Compton throws it home, and he's able to get him. The Sun Devils win that game. It wasn't particularly close. They got off to a big lead. Cal State Northridge fought back, and then at the end of it, the Devils able to pull away a double-digit win. Not really, not that unexpected, but still a good win nonetheless, and they were able to take 3 of 5 in that homestand. Here's what Willie Bloomquist had to say after the game.
He's been swinging the bat extremely well. For this isn't the only day he's been swinging it good. He's been really carrying us offensively for a little while now. So yeah, when you're in that kind of zone, you're seeing everything big, and he's on time. Seeing pitches up in the zone and not missing them. He's just been outstanding for us.
And right now, the only thing hotter than the Arizona sun is the ASU pitching staff. That's right, Jeremy Accardo's group combined for 45 strikeouts last weekend in the T-Cup, the most in a series since 2001. They've struck out 27% of batters this season and lead the Big 12 in total strikeouts with 355. Our Aiden O'Neill has more on the unit's success.
Sun Devil strikeouts. Arizona State has gained supremacy on the bump in the swing and miss department, now on pace to set the program record for Ks in a season. In year 1 for pitching coach Jeremy Accardo, the Sun Devils have reinvented their approach on the mound, leaning on a new pitching performance lab that is the center of modern-day baseball.
It's a constant growth avenue that really, honestly, is beneficial for both the player, our staff, our catchers. All these guys are starting to understand exactly what these guys' arsenals are.
Last weekend against its arch rivals, Arizona State had 45 strikeouts combined as a staff over the 3-game series. The ability to generate swings and misses at that volume speaks to both the stuff and strategy that's been instilled under Accardo's watch. In total, ASU currently leads the Big 12 in strikeouts, with starter Jack Martinez leading the charge on the individual side. However, manager Willie Bloomquist isn't worried about the metrics.
Just helps these guys understand how to pitch. It's a tool. It's not the gospel, right? There's still, to be a good pitcher, you got to have something between your ears, and you got to have an attitude and go attack.
With conference play heating up and the postseason looming, Arizona State's strikeout surge could be the difference maker in a deep run, 1K at a time. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Aiden O'Neill.
Doesn't matter where you look on the diamond, Arizona State has big numbers all over the place. Nuke Contreras hasn't failed to reach base in 2 years, and Jacob Tobias is cruising through his final year of eligibility, averaging nearly a double per game. For more on which Sun Devils are driving the bus, here's Andrew Hazlett.
Arizona State baseball's offense has been hot in the last few weeks as ASU is nearing the halfway mark in conference play. The Sun Devil bats are near the top in the majority of offensive statistics, most notably having the top batting average within Big 12 play. The Sun Devils' hottest bat is junior shortstop Matt King. King has recorded a hit in his last 10 games and is batting .561 across that same stretch, raising his average over 100 points to a team-leading .393. King also currently sports a team-best .589 slugging percentage and 1,065 OPS. King's bat has found some pop as he's recorded 9 of his 14 extra base hits in the last 10 games, with all 3 of his home runs coming in the last 2 games. Next up is junior third baseman Nuke Contreras. Contreras has a .315 batting average, the highest has been since opening day. Contreras has also scored 37 times in 2025, the most for ASU this season. He has knocked in 8 of his season total 12 RBIs in the last 10 games. Senior first baseman Jacob Tobias has been the catalyst of the Sun Devil offense. Tobias has knocked in the most RBIs for ASU with 36 and is currently riding a 10-game on-base streak. In the stretch, Tobias has driven 14 home. Tobias has 15 doubles on the year, which leads the conference, with 7 coming in his last 10 games, all while hitting .390. This is reminiscent of a stretch in late 24, which saw Tobias rake 21 RBIs in his last 6 games of the season. Freshman utility Landon Hairston has hit the ball well, filling in for when junior right fielder Kian Vu missed time with an ankle injury. Hairston played well enough to keep his spot in the lineup after Vu's return, and the freshman has continued to improve, hitting .378 in the last 10 games and has had 7 of his 12 RBIs and 17 of his 24 runs in the stretch. He leads ASU in on-base percentage at .482. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Andrew Hazlett.
Sun Devil softball made the trip to El Paso, Texas for a midweek doubleheader on Wednesday against Utah. And they came in and handled business, completing the 2-0 sweep in dominant fashion. ASU tallied 5 runs in the first inning of Game 1, and then the rest was history, securing an 8-0 run rule win through 6 innings, giving them the momentum they needed for Game 2. And Kenzie Brown have a day. The right-handed pitcher continued her stellar season with a complete game in the first outing. She's up to 208 strikeouts on the season, the first pitcher in the Big 12 to reach that feat.
Yeah, Justin, Kenzie has single-handedly kept Arizona State in some of their biggest games of the season with her seemingly unhittable pitches. Among Big 12 pitchers, she's second in both ERA and innings pitched, as Megan Bartlett hopes to make her the latest in a line of outstanding Sun Devil arms. Here's Alexander Martinez with more on the freshman ace.
After missing a year due to injury, Kenzie Brown has put up one of the best seasons in the circle in recent ASU history. So far, she has a 1.16 ERA and a 0.91 WHIP. She's only allowing 3.96 hits per 7 innings and is second in the NCAA with 208 strikeouts. She's also on pace to break the Arizona State single-season record for strikeouts per 7 innings with 12.1 strikeouts. Brown has gone 5+ innings in 11 appearances, with 8 of those appearances being complete games. She has 3 shutouts and holds a 15-4 record. She was named the 9th best pitcher by D1 softball and last week led the entire NCAA with 27 strikeouts in a week. When she pitches, ASU is 19-6. But the question of the season for this team has been, how can the Sun Devils win without Kenzie Brown in the circle? In games Brown hasn't pitched in, Arizona State is just 9-8. The rest of the Sun Devils pitching staff has not lived up to her standard. Combined, they have a 4.62 ERA and a 1.59 WHIP. Despite pitching in more innings, the staff has just 110 strikeouts, less than half the amount Brown has.
Right, like she gets tangible results, she can win ball games, she can change a whole ball game just on her own, right? But the fact that she can get out there and get it done on that kind of stage she is certainly a good one to learn from.
At the plate, Arizona State is averaging just 4 runs a game in conference play. Despite this, ASU is able to win games in spite of a lackluster offense due to Brown's dominance in the circle. The Sun Devils are 8-7 in Big 12 play, with 7 of those wins being games that Brown has started.
Because there's been a lot of times this year that Kenzie's won some ball games we did not give her a lot of runs support, and she's just Kenzie.
If the Sun Devils want to work their way into the top half of the Big 12 standings, they must figure out a way to win without Kenzie Brown. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Alexander Martinez.
Sun Devil football is in the midst of week 3 of spring practice. Quarterback Sam Levitt said last week that the team needed identity growth, and with various new faces being integrated into the offense, that shouldn't be expected overnight. But fast forward to this week, he said the team is slowly but surely finding their way. The defense returned 79% of its production from last season, and Levitt said going against that defense in practice will give them the preparation needed to perform in the fall. But key contributors from last year aside, Kenny Dillingham wants to see some of the youngsters compete with a little bit of an edge.
Same thing I said after the scrimmage. I want to see some of these young guys have some dog, man. Like, I want to see people step up and be like, that dude's a dog. If that dude's next to me on the field for a 4th down, the game on the line, I trust him.
So now comes the question that's going to stick with Kenny Dillingham all throughout the summer. Who's got next? Then, when the Sun Devils take the field this August, you know names like Levitt, Rouser, and Tyson will be in the starting lineup, but many of the spots around them are still up for grabs and could be filled by the youngest faces on this roster. Dom Pasella has more.
Yes, Kenny Dillingham wants to see guys with more dog while spring practice rolls on. Multiple young players in the program are looking to make their mark and rise up the depth charts in the coming months. Amongst ASU's strong depth at running back is freshman Demarius Man Robinson. The 5'10", 175-pound back ran for 67 touchdowns at Santa Fe High School in Oklahoma. While he may not be the biggest back on the field, Man plays like one, with surprising strength accompanying his frame. Another freshman catching on is 6'6", 240-pound tight end AJ Ia. The SoCal native has been a force to be reckoned with since arriving in Tempe. In his senior year at Orange Lutheran High, the 4-star put up 566 yards and 7 touchdowns, earning his spot in the 2024 Polynesian Bowl. Ia's size and deceiving speed have put the tight ends room on notice, while he makes strides to become the TE1. On the opposite side of the ball, redshirt freshman corner Plaz Johnson has been a standout for the Sun Devils. Once a 3-star out of Chaparral High School, Johnson saw the field in only 2 games last season, but made the most of his reps, recovering a clutch onside kick against BYU and getting 3 total tackles in the Big 12 championship game against Iowa State. While CKD is still searching for youthful impact, these 3 standouts could grow into pivotal players as ASU aims to defend its Big 12 title. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Dominic Pasella.
We all know the impact that Cam Scadaboo had on the Sun Devils last season. We all know he's headed to greener pastures. But the one thing we don't know is how that production will be replicated in 2025. Offensive coordinator Marcus Arroyo said the one thing that can't be replaced are the scat plays, the ones where he'd barrel through multiple bodies at a time on his way to the end zone. Now, what he does think can be replaced are those 2,300 some odd yards of total offense, maybe not by one individual person, but luckily ASU's got a trio of running backs ready to chip in by committee, and our Reese Goodall has more on the program's future.
Throughout its spring practices, Arizona State football is looking to fill the hole left behind by former running back Cameron Scadaboo. In the 2024 season, he racked up over 1,700 rushing yards and 600 receiving yards. The Sun Devils will look to replace him in the aggregate. As Kenny Dillingham has already mentioned, only 3 players in his stacked running back room will be able to get consistent playing time in 2025. Junior Kanye Udo can replace the power and intensity Scadaboo ran with. He joins the Sun Devils after accounting for 1,600 rushing yards in 2 seasons at Army. At West Point, the Black Knights threw the ball only 13% of the time compared to ASU, who threw it on 41% of plays. As a result, Udo only has 2 catches in his career, something he will likely need to work on in his transition to Tempe. Redshirt junior Raleek Brown can help the pass game like Scadaboo. In 2 seasons at USC, he caught passes out of the backfield frequently, and this spring has shown multiple different looks for this offense at receiver or in the backfield. He uses his quickness to create space with and without the ball, and will hope to showcase that in his return to the field after missing the home stretch of 2024 due to injury. Now Kyson Brown's skill set is right in the middle of both Udo and Raleek Brown. Through his first 2 years at ASU, he's seen playing time sparingly behind Scadaboo in the depth chart, but he has shown glimpses of what he can be. Against Arizona last season, Kyson had a career game, racking up 131 all-purpose yards. Now he's become one of this group's leaders due to his veteran presence. The running back position is also looking set for the future as redshirt freshman Jason Brown Jr. and freshman Demarius Robinson have turned heads this spring as well. All in all, the competitiveness in this room continues to be shown, and it will be interesting to see where each player lies come the fall. Guys?
It's crunch time on the pitch for Sun Devil lacrosse with just 3 games remaining in the regular season. ASU Sports 8 wins on the year, entering their final 3 games of regular season play, and they'd like a few more to win a tight race for the Big 12 tournament seeding. For more on the outlook for those remaining contests, let's go to Jordan Talley.
ASU women's lacrosse hit a rough patch as they prepare for the remainder of Big 12 conference play, with just 3 games left on the regular season. The team has lost its momentum, losing 4 of their last 5 matchups since March 21st against Dartmouth. What seems to be the fatal flaw for this historic crew is the turnover margins. In their last 5 contests, ASU committed 60 turnovers compared to their opponents' 49. This struggle was evident against former Pac-12 foe Colorado, where ASU had 16 turnovers compared to the Buffs' 9. Colorado went on to win 14-13, and the turnover margin was a major contributor to the loss. While Sun Devil lacrosse scored relentlessly to start the season, they have struggled to get shots on goal recently, being outshot 143-110 in their last 5. The solution? Quote, keeping it simple, according to head coach Taryn Van Thoffpols. Valuing possession of the ball will be key to doing just that. Van Thoffpols has called Big 12 competition fierce in recent weeks, and if the Sun Devils want to make a deep playoff run, they'll have to clean up some sloppy play to get there. Guys, back to you.
ASU's Jose Ballester is out in Augusta for the Masters after earning a spot by securing the U.S. Amateur Championship. And he sparked some recent controversy with his upside-down Sun Devil, and more notably, his decision to urinate in Race Creek off the 13th green. ASU head coach Matt Thurman also was escorted up the driving range for wearing shorts. And Aiden, just so you know, buddy, there's a bathroom down the hall, so no need to go behind the set once again, but in all seriousness, it's a busy week for number 3 ASU men's golf. Sun Devils are back at Papago Golf Course this weekend for the Thunderbird Collegiate. It's some familiar ground for the Sun Devils, who have won the last 2 tournaments as a team, while Ballester and Preston Summerhays took the last 2 individual wins representing ASU. And now we welcome in WCSN golf reporter Ella Walter-Sanchez, who's out live at Papago Golf Course. And Ella, ASU looking to defend their titles, currently in the lead with 31 under par, while Summerhays is tied at first with 11 under par. What's there been to like from the Devs so far?
Yeah, guys, the Thunderbird Collegiate is happening today. Arizona State has won the tournament in the last 2 years, both as a team and individually. Individually has gone to Preston Summerhays both years, who is currently ranked the number 11 player. After day 1 of play, it's looking like Arizona State is in first, with New Mexico in third, and Houston in second.
We said before, is not in Phoenix to defend his title. He's out in Augusta for the Masters. Finished with a score of 4 under on day 1. What have been some of your takeaways from his play in the Masters so far?
Yeah, Jose Ballester is currently making his Masters debut after being the first Spaniard to win the U.S. Amateur. Day 1 of play yesterday, he had an under 4 score, with today it looking like it's going to be around above 6. So it's not likely he'll make it to day 3 of play.
Yeah, and this isn't the only other opportunity ASU's got left to collect some more hardware, as the Big 12 tournament is right around the corner. What does that in-conference competition look like for ASU in the future?
Finishing up the season, Arizona State is currently ranked 5th in the Bushnell Golf Week coaches poll, and their only real opponent in the Big 12 is going to be the University of Oklahoma, who is currently ranked number 3. However, Arizona State took home national titles in 2022 and 2023, but unfortunately missed the cut in 2024, so they're hoping to make the cut this year after a little bit of an odd 2024.
Well, thank you, Ella, for all your insight. And while Sun Devil men's golf looks to add some more hardware to the collection, ASU men's tennis gets set for senior day tomorrow at 1 p.m. against their rivals from down south in Arizona. And last time around, the Wildcats swept the Sun Devils, but the ASU seniors will look to right their wrongs and go out with a bang. And AJ Gonzalez has more on the upcoming matchup.
Rivalries are a tale as old as time. This Saturday, the Arizona State Sun Devils and the University of Arizona Wildcats will clash under special circumstances. It will be Sun Devil Senior Day at the Whiteman Tennis Center. Two Sun Devils will be honored, Matisse Bundaz and Nicola Signa. Bundaz, the Marseille, France native, has been a steady scorcher for the Maroon and Gold in his first season on the team. The VCU transfer has amassed a record of 7-5 and brings a fireball-like presence to the court for the Sun Devils. Signa, the Bra, Italy native, has played all 4 of his seasons in Tempe, gradually improving each season. Signa has won 2 of his last 3 singles and doubles matches, all over ranked opponents. The last time these two teams met in the Tempe Diablos Invitational Championship earlier this season, the Wildcats were victorious, sweeping away the Sun Devils at the Kiwanis Center. To add extra reinforcements for the Wildcats, their superstar singles player, Colton Smith, an ITA All-American, is expected to play in the match. He missed the Diablos Invitational due to playing in the ATP Tour at Indian Wells. Smith has stockpiled an 18-2 record for the Wildcats and has been a force for them on the first singles court. In ASU's favor, the Sun Devils will have home court advantage. This season, the Sun Devils are 7-3 in familiar territory at Whiteman. It should be a match filled with fireworks Saturday. For Cronkite Sports, I'm AJ Godsall.
Coming in for some top plays at number 3 out on the diamond, Cole Carlone, 4 1/3 innings of relief. He had 10 strikeouts, allowed 0 hits, saved ASU from getting swept by U of A on Sunday. You gotta feel good about that one.
Absolutely impressive. You know what was also impressive? Kenzie Brown got her 200th strikeout in that game at UTSA. She is the first pitcher in the Big 12 to do so. Congratulations, Kenzie. 200 career strikeouts for the senior.
And coming in at number 1, out at Phoenix Muni again, that's Matt King, a 2-run homer in game. He was 4 for 5 with 2 homers and 6 RBI, 9 for 10 in the last 10 plate appearances. ASU won 20-11 in a Tuesday tilt. And Aiden, the year's almost over for ASU. We got a couple more shows left, but still a lot to look forward to. And hey, tomorrow, the annual Pats Run Marathon, bright and early in the morning. Now, my body, I don't got the stamina for all that, but as always, a great way to support a great cause.
Yeah, me too. You really gotta like take a couple weeks to train for that, but it's okay. You can go and then you can stick around because Sun Devil football out there with another open practice tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and it's called Pats Run, but we've got in the memo that if you want to walk, you can walk. But Aiden, great afternoon with you at the desk. For our entire crew behind the scenes, I'm Justin Lacertosa. That's Aiden Blank. We'll see you guys next week for another edition of Cronkite Sports Live.